Hi everyone, it is Jane here, and wow, week 2 of Exit the Matrix with Me experiment was insane. And I am currently sitting in the experiment. This first month is kind of like getting some information about what I need to know about writing a book. And then I've got my handy little helper here, Tilly. And then we're getting right into the content of what it's like to live from your heart, living an aligned life of abundance where there's infinite possibilities and everything that you can imagine comes to you. Is it really possible? Is it religious? Is it spiritual? Is it quantum? Is it scientific? Is it biology? And I'm really interested in hacking that. And so, you know, just as a recap, we're going through this phase of, okay, I'm going to write this book. What do I need to know? In the Exit the Matrix with Me experiment group, which I'd love you all to join, I shared last week how I'd taken the transcript of a podcast from a 3 times New York Times bestselling editor and all of the structure of having a great book, and I made it into a custom GPT that I've shared with everyone in the group. So if you're thinking about writing a book, put the book idea in there and it'll help you structure it out. And that kind of gave me some context. And you know, when I think back, you know, to the twist framework, which is, you know, being having an aligned life, which is having your, you know, thrive, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual health thriving in flow, your wealth, having your interpersonal experiences and your connections to others, your spirit, your why, your purpose, and then time. You know, time is an illusion, but until you can escape that illusion, we participate with it, and you know, sharing with people how can you get to where you want to go faster. And you know, I use AI for that. I use productivity hacks. I use mind hacks. So I'm really excited to explore some other ideas on that as well. But let me tell you about week 2 because it was insane. So in my quest of, you know, understanding how to write a book, you know, I've written a bestseller, which in Australia only means you have to sell 5,000 through publishers, or I don't even know how they measure it. I used to get weekly updates, but I didn't want to go down that process. And it got me thinking, you know, if I want to create something that creates transformational change, you know, the book is usually just the entry, and then afterwards you have the courses and the coaching and whatever, you know, speaking events, or however people want to magnify that message. And my guest this week really gave me some real context on that. But we're kind of creating the course before the book here because people are participating in the experiments, and I've got an incredible 4D gratitude experiment that's about to be launched in the group. And I just want people to have the tools and come on the journey with me rather than me be the expert. I'm exploring this and I'm going to be sharing my findings, hopefully in a book. But yeah, that's kind of the insights. So let me tell you a little bit about Darren Stephens, who joined me. Darren is like a marketing expert, and he has been into personal development like early 80s, 90s, and you know, was one of the first people to go to one of Tony Robbins' event where he had like 200 people in the room. And he heard this speaker, Dr. John Gray, speak on stage, and he went up and afterwards and said, look, I'm into marketing, I really want to learn what you've got. Can I come and intern with you? Now, this is a big thing, right? And it's interesting, I was listening to someone recently who said when people have offered to intern with some of the great minds, they've said, you know, you overvalue yourself by doing that. And Darren was persistent, and finally Dr. John Gray said yes. Now, he had just written Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, and they took that to $100 million entity. The things that Darren shares from behind the scenes, like, and what they did with the book title, they did muscle testing to get the book title, and in subsequent books and best-selling books. They, you know, the blurb on the back, the importance of the cover design, all of those kind of factual things, which in itself is really interesting. But what's interesting is Darren actually had a global publishing company. He had some of these tricks and to actually get publishers to pick up your books, you know, and Dr. John Gray self-published before they'd actually put this trick into place, which then had him picked up, and then he's got 26 more books. Darren himself has about 12 bestsellers, and he showed us with one book that he had how he made $250,000 within the first 2 weeks, had sold 21,000 books before launch, and how that made him a bestseller and got him on the bestseller areas in all the bookshops. Just genius. To the extent I'm talking to a friend at the moment who's quite a well-known entity in Australia, and she's talking about a book, and I shared this strategy with her over the weekend, and she's like, I'm all in. So there's some incredible things, but we also touched on the personal travels that Darren had with John, and John's seeking for that aligned, abundant life and vitality and health, and where it took them to India, where they were meeting live saints. So interesting stuff, right? And one of the other things, so I didn't just get some ideas about what would you need to do to get a book to magnify your message and make the movement that gives the magnitude for transformation in the world. But Darren himself is a bit of an enigma, because he is a world-class hypnotist and recently won an accolade of being the fastest hypnotist in the world. And I showed a video where it's like a 2-second thing when he puts people to sleep. It's incredible. He has an incredible, extensive library in hypnotism, and for pain and for wealth and for abundance and for menopause and for relationships and weight loss, like you name it, and he's adding to it every month. And he gave me a glimpse into it, and I did some of these, and he's going to come back and actually share in the group one of these hypnotic sessions that he has, and we're going to use that as an experiment to see if we can create abundance. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Anyhow, I would love you to come and join me in the Exit the Matrix experiment. This is just the beginning. I have lined up some pretty incredible world-class speakers to chat to and to understand, what is it when you're in that stage of an awareness that things don't feel right, aren't sitting right. I think humanity at the moment, we're going through a flux, and something big is coming, and there's people who need to step up, and there's people who need to be there to calm and to give heart and optimism and a positive outlook. And I think it's why so many people are sitting in a very comfortable life going, I don't feel comfortable, and I'm interested in exploring that. And that's kind of that awareness piece. And so I've got a couple of incredible speakers coming up this week. I just recorded one that will be going live, be put up 10 o'clock on Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, in the group. His take on what's happening in the world is pretty extraordinary about what's happening with this kind of awareness. And then there's the awakening stage. That's where I really want to get into these experiments. How do people awaken to a state of abundance? And maybe it's through science, or maybe it's through meditation, or maybe it's through, like, what have I got here? My prosperity essence, which is just amazing. And maybe there's different ways of doing it. 4D gratitudes. So we're going to explore that. Sound, all these different things, energy work. So I'm really looking forward to where we're going with this. But I really encourage you, come over to Exit the Matrix and experiment with me. Check it out, see what it's like. You don't have to sign up forever at all, and there's something special in there if you do go to exitthematrix.today/flat/ETM with me, and I'll put the link there. But yeah, I'd love you to come join me. This discussion with Darren was pretty next level, and just the fact that there are incredible people out there doing amazing things, and just the marketing nuances around a book. It's amazing. So I've put up from my learnings in week 1 about how to write a good hook. Start with a personal story, and then having a chat to Alex Blake about what needs to be in that. And I shared with her my little first story of my why of writing the book, which is a personal story with my son. And yeah, I've posted that for everyone to review in the platform. So come over to the Facebook group, say hi, and then come jump on the platform where all the goodness is, and all those custom GPTs, and where I'm adding all of the experiments. So can't wait to see you all there. This is my 10 at 10, and just a quick wrap of week 2, week 3. I can't wait to come back to you and let you know who I spoke to this week and some of the profound landings. All the best, and as always, here's to your success. Bye for now.